It's so easy for people to do a lot of planning and not actually start. But I know that like when you start, you like basically throw all those notes out the window because like all new challenges come you don't even think of, you know. So it's always better to just start in a swimming pool. You just kind of jump in and learn to swim.
听旅行故事，离开原本的生活思维，找到自己的生活滋味。Welcome to Jasmine's Journey. In this podcast, we interview digital nomads and explore their remote jobs that support their traveling lifestyle. We'll discuss the pros and cons of being a digital nomad. Today, our special guest is AJ, a British digital nomad who runs a successful e-commerce business while traveling through Southeast Asia. Before this venture, he co-founded an app and started 3 other stores, learning from these experiences to achieve success with his current business. Let's listen to AJ's story. Hello, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am AJ. I'm from London, so obviously I'm British. I run an e-commerce company called Complement Arts. We sell home decor items in America, which is basically things like statues, art pieces, things like that. I started it during COVID, so I was kind of bored at home, wondering what to do. And I looked on Google Trends and I saw that lots of people were searching for things in the house because obviously they were in lockdown. They were staying at home. So I saw that and I was like, I can find some stuff like that. So I started that, and it's been going for about 3 or 4 years now. And that's it basically.
That's very smart. So before you start to have the e-commerce business, have you ever think like, oh, I want to go traveling in the future after COVID?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've always loved traveling. But usually I do it like to get a job sort of thing. So I went to China, been to Hong Kong. I've also been to America, so New York, and all then I got like normal jobs, like internships and things like that. But when I came back from New York, I started a company as a cocktail company, so an app with me and my 2 friends. So basically you pay £10 a month, and in London you get 1 free cocktail at our partner bars every day. And so people would sign up, subscribe, and they'd go in and get a free cocktail, and because they're there, they'd start spending money already. So the bars would like basically bring them in for a price of a cocktail, which is about £1.50. And when they'd stay, they spend up to £25 more. And we ran that for, I think, I want to say 2 years, sold it to a competitor just before COVID, actually. So before it all shut down and the business would have been ruined because obviously no one was going out. So quite lucky actually. I've always loved traveling. Like I've always loved seeing the world. Like I'd never wanted to go the usual route that a lot of my friends have gone with, like, you know, getting married, having children. Like I feel like there's too many countries to see, you know, too much of the world to see to settle down just yet.
Even though you say you have a normal job before, but that job is more like internship.
Yeah,
Graduated.
Yeah, well, the New York was a normal job. It was I worked at a tech accelerator, so we invested in tech. So like startup accelerator. So basically, we invested in companies and brought them inside and kind of helped them develop and stuff like that. So I did that in New York for a year. That's kind of inspired me to kind of start my own company, basically, because I saw how other people were doing it and I learned a lot. And so that's where my kind of entrepreneurial journey began, really. And
then, so that job inspired you to do the cocktail app?
Yeah. So there was one that started in New York. And so we thought, oh, that's perfect. Like we can start one in London. So we built it, made a lot of mistakes. Like I think back, obviously, like I think it's good in a way to look back on your first company and kind of cringe, you know, just all the things we did wrong and stuff like that. But like it shows how much I've grown, sort of thing, you know.
What did you learn from that company and why did you close the company?
So we didn't close it. We actually kind of, because there was another competitor in London who were doing similar. So we kind of decided like it's probably too big for the both of us. So they bought us out. It wasn't a huge amount, but we thought, it's a small win. And what did I do wrong? I'd say like choosing co-founders. I think because like it was me and my best friend and a developer we found online basically. But like me and my best friend we like clashed because we worked so closely together. And so like, and obviously the developer, we didn't know very well. So, and we made a lot of mistakes on marketing as well. But I mean, it did okay, and it was like, I learned a lot, but.
Can you give me an example? What did you learn? Like, what's the mistake and then what's the lesson?
I think in marketing, we were like obsessed with, or we were focused on, we thought the best way was like organic. So we'd work with like building up public relations. So we'd try to reach out to journalists to get them to write about us and things like that. And like that was good. You get a big hit. So we got onto like BuzzFeed and that gave us kind of a big hit in views from things like BuzzFeed and Cosmopolitan and stuff like that. But after a while, they kind of drained down. And so what I think we were kind of scared to do is use paid marketing. So things like Facebook and Instagram and things like that, because we weren't sure how it worked. So we kind of stayed away from there. But obviously now my new business in e-commerce, like it's basically all focused on paid social. So like I spend money in Facebook and I like create ads and stuff like that for people to see and click on.
So can I say organic source or buyer is more like for long term, but you put on social media ads is more like faster to scale it?
Yeah, basically. So like organic, obviously you want to build up like an organic social profile because when people search for your company, they want to see that you've got like a presence online and it's like trustworthy and it gives you credibility. But like that's a slow burner, and obviously when you've got like expenses and things like that building up, you want quick return. And that's what paid advertising does. So things like Facebook and Instagram, you can do Google as well. I mean, the difference is like Google is more where you already has search intent. So people go on there looking for something. So they want cocktails in London. And so if you appear, they're like, oh, amazing, that's an app because that's what they're looking for. But Facebook is more to do with direct response marketing, which is where people aren't looking for things on Facebook, they're just scrolling and seeing their pictures of friends, whatever, and then they come across your ad or whatever, and you've got to convince them that like that's what they want and they should go to a website and convert basically. So it's a like different type, but it's a lot quicker because the beauty of Facebook is that algorithm is so strong that you can, once you find a winner, like it builds up a data profile of what that customer looks like, and then it just shows it to everyone similar,
Yeah, I see. So the business do you have co-founder this time?
Just me. Yeah. So, and I think that's why, that's another thing as well, is like, that's another lesson I learned actually, is like before, because it was a new company, I wanted to do it with like a friend and like, so we could like learn together. But like after a while, it's like, it's actually way better to kind of do it on your own because you can kind of like put all the effort in and you can make all the decisions. You don't have to like discuss. Obviously there's pros and cons. Like it's nice to have someone else like in the trenches with you, basically like working together, you can kind of like talk to. But yeah, I think it's just better to kind of run it on your own. And I feel like you get more, like for me anyway, you get more out of it, like satisfaction, like a feeling accomplished, like you work hard and it succeeds and you feel good sort of thing that you created that,
So do you have an employee?
Yes, I have a team of basically customer service reps. So like the majority of business is like automated, like the order comes through, like it runs through the whole system, gets shipped. But like things like customer service is still run by people. So basically I employ someone in the UK to manage it, and then I have virtual assistants basically. So people from like Philippines and things like that who are good at English and can like answer questions from customers.
How do you find them?
There's a website called onlinejobs.ph. That's probably popular. There's another one called Upwork as well. A similar sort of thing. But you just want to look for someone who's like stayed at a job for a long time, so they're kind of loyal, and then like interview them, things like that. Although like things are changing now because of obviously AI. Like there's like new apps coming up where like instead of having people reply to customers, AI can. And like obviously with like if they're based in the Philippines, it's obviously it could take up to 24 hours or 12 hours to get a reply to a customer. But with AI, it can be done in like 15 minutes. So we're kind of like experimenting with AI and stuff like that.
So what do you think about the business? What's the most difficult part and the most excited part?
I think the definitely exciting part is like kind of running ads on Facebook. Because like when I first started this, I kind of like I'd like film myself on my phone, and like I'd order the products and like film it and things like that, and like film myself like as a customer or whatever. And so that's quite funny to like see that I can just like do this thing on my phone, put it on Facebook, and it's seen like millions of times, So I was in America, so none of my friends saw, fortunately, me embarrassing myself. But yeah, that's definitely like what I enjoy, because I feel like I created that, so I get like the most accomplishment out of like of just a phone in my living room, The worst thing, the hardest thing, maybe I think at the start, the hardest thing was I think doing all the customer stuff myself, because like it's quite mentally draining to like answer like problems and things like that from customers. Like I don't know if anyone's worked in like retail, like at a shop, like you constantly see customers. Like 95% of people are nice and lovely, and there's like the 5% who are just like quite impatient and can be rude as well. So it's like it was like quite draining on my mental health, until I like employed people.
Do you think that's about your product's quality? Like how do you check the quality is good if you importing from China, right?
Yeah. So like we have initially that was difficult because I didn't have a relationship with the supplier, but now obviously we've been working for them for so long. Like they've got a team in place now of quality assurance. So like everything that goes up before is checked and double checked basically. And they have assurance of me, so anything that does go wrong, like they completely cover it. So yeah, initially that was a problem. So, I mean, it wasn't too bad, but like obviously you want it to be zero problems, not like a few. So yeah, once like I built up a relationship and they knew they could trust me and that we were going to have a long-term business together, I was able to put into place like things like quality assurance teams and things like that.
Have you fly to China to check the supplier or the factory?
I've not actually, no. Because it was like kind of during COVID, so I couldn't go anywhere. And then like after a while, like initially I wanted to, but I think after we like worked together through COVID, I kind of like trusted them, and they like, we kind of became quite close. They send me like gifts for Christmas and stuff like that. Like it's quite funny.
Christmas gifts, right?
Yeah.
I heard that. I have some students in Mexico, and they also are like import some stuff from China.
Oh yeah.
And their supplier will give them like chopsticks or the China fans in Chinese New Year or like Christmas.
Yeah. So they were like, send me like your address and stuff like that, and I get like these like massive like vases and things like that.
Yeah.
For Christmas stuff. Oh, that's quite nice.
Yes, interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what's your mindset. I mean, like your mind from 0 to 1 to now. Because like when you start, it's like nothing. Have you ever like worry about something or anxious, or like you set a goal or something and then like gradually until now? What's the difference?
So it kind of. So I think during. That's a good question actually. I think thinking about e-commerce. So basically created 4 separate stores. Okay, 4 separate like stores. So the first one didn't make a profit. The second one made a profit, but the product wasn't very good. The third one made a profit and was really good, and like I realized like, okay, this could be something good. And then the fourth one I'm on now is basically everything I've learned I put into what I'm doing now.
So you sell 4 different kind stuff until the fourth one.
All with similar like home decor space, but like some were like focused like one product stores. So the third store that worked was like silicone socks you could put onto chairs, which stopped them making noise when you'd move them. And so like you'd think, oh, that's like silly. But like during COVID, like I guess people were getting annoyed at like little things. So like, yeah, that did really well. And like I would be filming like myself, like, pushing them around like my living room and things like that, and then putting them online. And then so like once I knew that was like, okay, people do really care about small little things that I wouldn't even think of. I changed it from, so that store basically solved a problem. So like, if it's like, the noise is annoying or you want to protect your floors. And so I was like, okay, so I took those learnings and put it to my store now, which is not about solving a problem, but solving a want. You know, so obviously like having like an art piece, so it doesn't solve a problem necessarily, but it's more like a want, you know. So it's like a different way to market, you know.
Yes. So when you found the product is not that profit a lot, I mean like can't make that much money, then you choose to try to keep going or switch to a new product?
Switch. So I always thought like, I try to think of things in like, my whole life really is like lessons. So like not failures, but lessons. So if I do something and it doesn't work, I always try to think about it as like a lesson sort of thing. Like what I've learned, I can then apply it to the next thing I do. So that's just like in life or in business, you know. So that's why I took like did four separate stores. So I like did one thing, learned what I could, you know, did another thing, took those learnings and like kept going. Like, cause I feel like it's so easy for people to, you know, write a lot of notes or do a lot of planning, you know, and not actually start. But I know that like when you start, you like basically throw all those notes out the window because like all new challenges come and you don't even think of, you know. So it's always better to just start. So that's why, you know, for me, I just kind of like jump in the deep end, you know. You understand, like in a swimming pool, you just kind of jump in and learn to swim, you know.
Yeah. So from the first product to now, the fourth product, for how long you figure out you found the best one?
I would say quite quickly I would say, so I was on my third store within, I think, 6 months. Because obviously, like, you know, when it doesn't work, like, and it's not working, and it's like, it's time to cut loose and like move on. There's no point getting emotionally attached to a product, you know, it's all about if it can make money. So I'd say, yeah, within 6 months, I was on my third store, and that did really well, and I ran that for a year. And then I decided, you know, what could be more, what could have more, I guess, market share than like something that solves a specific problem. Is it something that like people want, you know? People want to have nice things in their house, things like that, you know? So I always get like big boosts around like 4th of July or like any American holiday, because obviously they invite their friends and family to the house. And so people want to make sure it looks nice, you know, and they want to get compliments and things like that. So yeah, that's why I found out that worked.
I just feel it's tiring, like you create new brand, a new store again and again.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, like, I think it's the opposite. Is sometimes I like this is something I needed to work on, but like I sometimes get bored with a business if it's doing well, because sometimes I like the challenge, or like I love the start of a business when you like create it and it's exciting and you like put work in, try this thing, try that thing, and then it works, you feel really good, you know. And I think, but like after a while, like when a business does well, you kind of get used to it, so it's like not as, you know, I guess you're like chasing the dopamine rush, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, so I get to a point where, yeah, I want to start something new, you know, create something new, you know.
Yeah. Is that why you choose to have a digital nomad life? Like
I think
chase different things.
Honestly, yes, probably actually, yeah, actually that's a good free. I've not thought about that actually. Yeah, I think that you might be true. I think, yeah, well, there's 2 reasons actually why I started. So I've been in Chiang Mai, Thailand for 2 months.
Yeah.
This is when I started. I decided for 2 reasons. One, I mentioned before, like all my friends were kind of getting married, having children, and like I didn't want to go down that route, you know, and I've always wanted to travel, so I thought, why not? But to be honest, I was always kind of like a little bit nervous of traveling on my own sort of thing. Like I've done it before, I don't know why, but like I always wanted my friends to come because I thought it would be better, like all my friends would be fun, but like a lot of them obviously have different lives. So the one thing I really wanted to do this year was trek Everest Base Camp. So, and I wanted to get my friends involved, like, oh, it'd be fun. Like, all my friends were like, no, they weren't interested, you know. Even one of my friends was like, why? I'm like, why? What do you mean, why? So that blew my mind. So I was like, you know what? I'm going on my own. I don't care. So I found a guide and I found a porter, and it was just me and those two. Flew to Nepal, flew to Lukla, and then, yeah, trekked it to Everest Base Camp. And that made me think, like, I can do this on my own, you know? Like, I don't need my friends here. Like, it's just as good. I can make friends on my way, you know? So I came back in March, and then after that, I was like, right, as soon as my lease on my flat ends in London, which is in June this year, I was like, I'm gonna put my stuff in storage, and I'm just gonna book a flight one way, book an Airbnb, and that's it. And I found Chiang Mai because it's like a lot of people were saying it's really good for digital nomads, but it wasn't weren't too many foreigners. It still felt like Asia, which is what I wanted. So yeah, landed and have not looked back, you know.
So before Chiang Mai, have you go traveling to, I mean, like work at the same time, or Chiang Mai is your first city?
Yeah, as a digital nomad, yeah. Like I've obviously been to, like obviously as I said, I went to Nepal and like, I went to China, but I did an internship in China.
Yes.
And New York, I had a job there. So like this is the first time I've like, where basically my business is like, I don't need to be in a set place.
Yes.
So, you know, and like, especially like as soon as I moved here, like I remember talking to my mum, she was like, you're not going to like live in Thailand. And I remember like, no, of course not, like just for a little bit. And then I remember like on day 3, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I'm going to have to tell my mum like soon that like I might not come back. But yeah, it's so nice. Like, yeah, I was so surprised. And I think how like much more expensive it is in London, how for little you get, you know, like it's so surprising how high the quality here is, quality of life here is. And I didn't know, like all I had to go on was like China, like mainland China, Hong Kong and Nepal. So it was like, I don't know where it was going to be. Like, was it going to be really modern like Hong Kong, or was it going to be like kind of like, you know, developing like Nepal? So yeah, I was surprised how like modern it is, to be honest.
So how do you balance job and the life during
That is a great question. I'm still trying to work that one out.
Usually, how many hours do you have to work per day or per week?
I don't necessarily have to work any hours, really. Like, I could do, like, I try to, like, go to a co-working space, because I think, like, when you stay at home, like, there's so many distractions, and I don't really, like, want to work. But when you go out and, like work with other people, it kind of gets you in the good mindset to, like, you know, actually do some work rather than just, like, mess about. So, I don't know, like, I don't necessarily need to do many hours, but I think maybe like 3 or 4 a day. Like if I'm like, you know, if I'm strict, then yeah, that's probably enough, you know, to progress.
Like the book say 4 hours.
Oh yeah, what's that? What, a 4-hour work week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's 4 hours per week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could probably do that, to be honest. Like, as I said, like a lot of it's automated, you know, and that's not the goal. Like I don't really like the whole goal is to be free, you know. Like I don't really like care about money. Like money is just a tool to be free, you know. So I just want to be free. So I couldn't understand like my friends or other people. Like it's fine if they're happy, but like to be like to work, like to get a job in an office and do that for like the rest of your life. Yeah. You know, it sounds horrible, you know.
Can I ask what's your vision, or like have you ever think like after 10 years what's your life looks like? Do you set a goal like how much money do I have to save, or I just want freedom and then go traveling? You are already go traveling anywhere. Then what's your vision?
That's the thing. Like I don't have a vision. Like my vision right now is probably about 1 month from now. So like I know where I'm going. So I'm gonna leave. I have to leave Chiang Mai in a week, and I'm gonna go to Vietnam for a week just to do kind of the visa run. Yes. And then I'm thinking of coming back and spending maybe a month on a Thai island. And then after that, I don't know. Like I'm literally just taking it like month by month. If I meet some people and they're like, oh, like we want to go here, like, okay, I'll join you. You know, like I'm just keeping it completely open. Yeah. You know?
So how do you make friends? Because you mentioned like you want to invite your friends come. Then...
Yeah. So you have to make new friends. Yeah, exactly. Yes. I don't know, like I'm already quite social. So I think things like...
Yeah, we are in the social club.
Yeah, we are in a co-working place called the Social Club, yeah. So I think how it started, how I made friends is I joined Nomad lists. Yes. So, and they've got like a Slack group with like different countries, whatever. So I joined Thailand and like literally, I think I flew on here on the Thursday, and on the Saturday someone said, oh, we're going to do a hike. And I was like, okay, perfect. Like I've done Everest Base Camp easy, you know. And then like I did the hike, met loads of people, met someone who came to this co-working space, so then I joined him, met more people, you know. I think like with friends is what I'm learning now is like, because it's the digital nomad life, people coming and going. So you make a good friend and then they kind of leave. But I guess you kind of have that friend for life in a way, you know. Yes. But like, yeah, it's kind of sad where like you make a good friend and they leave. You make a new good friend and they kind of leave, you know, like, I guess, you know, I'll eventually leave, like, you know. So that's, I guess, part of the way it is. So maybe I'll get used to that, maybe I won't. You know, like I like connections. It's nice to like have, you know, I'm friendly with everyone. Like it's easy to be friends with everyone, but like obviously you want people who like you kind of, you know, you fit. You know, like you want to spend time with, and like, you know, you kind of get each other. So yes, I guess it's always like making sure that I've always got like a group of friends. You know, always revolving, people leaving, people coming. You know, so that's like something I'm like working out at the moment. But so far it's been okay.
Good. Yeah, I think that's also hard, or also the can I say the negative or sad part? You have to like say hi and then say goodbye all the time. Yeah. So what do you think about, is there anything like changing your value or changing your mindset after go traveling?
I don't think there is, honestly. I think I almost feel like I'm now living my life properly. Like I feel like beforehand I've kind of like, not like wasted it, like I guess it was building up to this point. But I feel like this is what I always kind of wanted to do before I even knew I wanted to do it, you know. I wanted to be free, I wanted to travel and see the world, like I wanted to work from my laptop, you know. So I kind of like always thought that was kind of what I wanted to do, but like ever since I've kind of got here, like I realized like this is exactly what I want to do, you know, like I'm like completely happy. So I don't even know if there's anything that's, I guess the surprising thing is how much I enjoy it, sort of thing, like how comfortable I feel, you know. But no, I like it. And also like how I just don't miss London, you know, like I just like all my friends are like, I'm like I was just shocked how like expensive everything is. It's like, it's crazy, you know, like, and yeah, I guess I miss my friends, but like at the same time, it's good now I'm out here, like I can kind of like encourage my friends to kind of come out and travel and see me. So it's kind of like, you know, worked out.
Yes. Do you feel like, yeah, I think at least for me, it's like I appreciate much more about my life during traveling. Like I feel if I stay in the same city for a long time, I mean like over 2 years maybe, and when you write like appreciate diary or something, it's hard to find one. But I feel in digital nomad life, I can have a lot every day. Yeah,
definitely. Like for example, like I've just learned to ride a scooter, and before I was like, oh, I'm definitely not doing that. That's unsafe. All my dad and mum was like, don't do that. My friends were like, yeah, that's dangerous. So I was a bit like, I wasn't sure. And all my friends here were like, no, you got to do it. Like it's freedom. And I was like, oh, I don't know. So on Thursday, I thought, you know what? I'll like pay for a lesson, like to get taught properly, and then literally the next day I like rented out a bike, and I've been driving ever since. It's been so fun. Like, and that's definitely like I guess a thing where like I'm like learning new things and like, you know, finding things that are like before I'd be like, oh no, I'm not interested in riding, to realize actually like it's super fun, you know.
Yes. Yeah, I can drive from 18 years old.
Oh really?
I agree, it's like a freedom.
Yeah. Well, yeah, same as me. Like I learned to drive a car. Like I passed it when I was 18, but a bike was just like I don't know, just it seems like a different thing. But now it's just like, it's easy. Jump on it, you know, head somewhere. It's so nice, you know.
Yes, great. Okay, I think that's all of my question. The last question is, anything else you want to share?
I would say for anyone who's kind of like doubting it, like I was, like just to kind of jump in, like kind of go for it, and like you won't regret it, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you have the opportunity to do it, like don't be scared, don't overthink it. Just kind of go for it. Like for me, like I booked a flight, one-way flight to Chiang Mai. I booked the Airbnb, and then that was it. Like I didn't even like do much research about it. I was like, I'm just going to book it. I'm not going to think about it, you know. And I landed here, and it's been amazing. So
don't you have to plan or to think about the financial thing or?
No, I just because I know, like, because I was like, I don't know. I was just like, no, I just wanted to. You know, I think sometimes it's nice to take a risk, you know, jump in and see what happens, you know.
Do you have insurance?
Yeah, well, now I do. Initially I didn't, and everyone was like, why not? I was like, oh, should I get some? I was like, yeah. So I do have some now.
Okay,
so.
Good. Okay, cool. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.